I think that jealousy is for the birds, and this is why I've been getting spammed with dating content. I've been talking about how I've been getting spammed with dating content for women, even though that is not my preferred content. And a lot of this stuff is like talking about how, like, I guess like a lot of women get turned on when like guys are jealous or whatever about them being with other guys, which I can agree that it's like a red flag if a guy doesn't care that you're with other guys, you know? But here's the thing. Jealousy, there's extremes, and I get that men are territorial, whatever, like, but there's like extremes, you know? And it's interesting because I've said I'm not a jealous person, and every single time I've experienced someone being jealous about me, whether it be like dealing with the guy or not, that person has never cared about me. Like the few times in my life that I've experienced like people acting jealous towards me, it was a territorial thing. And like the people who were acting jealous were like, and they were jealous, but they were competitive. Like, because here's how I could tell. Like my first time dealing with the guy, like long time ago, it was very, very obvious that he did not care about me and he was just using me, but I was also like trying to use him too, you know? But I didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't get much out of it. But, you know, I was trying, like, I could tell he was using me. I could tell he did not give a single crap about me. But he was very jealous. He would always ask me, like, the few times I saw him, he would ask me, like, because I would, like, see him once a month. Like, I would hang out with him, like, once a month. He would always, like, ask me. He would always, like, interrogate me about, like, other guys. Because I was working. Like, I was doing, like, makeup stuff and all that. Excuse me. So I was working with photographers. I was, like, working with them. And he would always, like, ask me, like, about, like, these guys that I was working with. And it was, like, very in a jealousy type of way. But I could tell that it was about him being competitive with other men. I got cut off there. I could tell that it was about him being competitive with other men and not because he gave a crap about me or because he wasn't doing anything to keep me around, you know? He would be jealous of, like, other guys that I would be interacting with. But he was not making an effort to, like, get serious with me in any way. Not that I wanted it either, but he wasn't making any of those kinds of efforts, yet he would be jealous. And it was more like a dick measuring contest for him. Like, you know, he was very, very focused on other men. And here's the other thing. Men who are over the top jealous, it's not about, this is my belief. It's not about you. It's about them being DL. Like, I 100% think that men who are over the top jealous about girls that they're seeing, especially bonus points if it's not a girl that they're dating, is seeing, it's because they're just very, very, very obsessed with other men. And because, like, they can't own up to their attraction to other men, they just get competitive. And it's very much the same way with women. Like, other women, like, if you're a woman and you encounter a woman who's just, like, randomly very competitive with you, it's usually because she's, like, attracted to you in some way, but she can't, like, express that. You know, she doesn't even know how to express that in a friendship way. She probably had, like, a very dysfunctional childhood with, like, mother wounds and stuff like that, you know? So she just gets very competitive with you. And it's the same thing with these DL men. You know, they will get very competitive. They're like, who are you seeing? Who's this guy? Let me go on his page. You know, like, they get all like that. And it's not about you at all. It's about, he's using you as a metric. What you are is just a metric to him. You know, so he's comparing himself to the other guys. Since he has you, he's also comparing himself to the other guys that you get. You know, and he's just comparing himself, and he has to be, like, on top. He has to be better than these other men, you know, and it's just that he's very, very competitive with other men, you know, and I could tell that even back when I didn't even know anything about men or anything like that back in the day. I could just tell with that guy, he's just very competitive person with other guys, you know, and he was using me as a metric to compare himself to other men. And that was more about him and how he compared to other men through me than it was about him caring about me in any capacity, because he clearly did not give a crap, you know? So that's what it is when guys ask, like, oh, who else are you seeing? Are you seeing other men? It's not about you. It's about him being over the top focus on other men to the point that you need to be questioning his sexuality. Honestly. You know, men who are constantly asking you about other men, first of all, like, it might not always be jealousy. Sometimes they like picturing you with other men because that turns them on because they're gay. That's part of it. Like, part of it's because they, like, enjoy it. Because this guy who did that, like, years ago, he was, like, trying to give me other guys' phone numbers. Like, he also, even though he was competitive with other men, he also liked the idea of me being someone who could get a lot of men in his mind, even though I wasn't in the streets like that, you know? Very much turned him on. Like, I really think he's down low. Like, this is a guy who tried turning me into a bodybuilder. This is like a million years ago. He borderline tried turning me into a bodybuilder. You know, he wanted me to get very muscular. And I remember one time because he always had roommates, and this one time he had this male roommate, and he had me, like, doing something, because, you know, the living room was, like, a shared space, and he had me, like, doing something, like, I was, like, putting together, like, because he was a photographer, too, so I was, like, putting together these mailers out that he was using to promote his business, you know? I was helping him with that, I guess, in the living room, because, like, back then I used to do stuff for men, like, honestly. So I was, like, helping him with these little mailer things, and then his roommate comes out, and all of a sudden he gets, like, all shy. And I'm like, and I didn't even know, back in the day, I didn't know that DL men exist. I thought it was physically impossible for a gay man to get with a woman. I literally thought that. You know, I didn't think that being DL was a thing. I thought it was like, if you were a gay man, it is impossible for you to be with a woman in any capacity. I didn't know that they hid it, you know? And I remember seeing him come out, the guy's roommate, who was a man, come out, and him acting like he had a crush on him. He got all shy. He was acting like a little schoolgirl who had a crush. And I didn't even know that being DL existed. I was like, he's acting like he's in love with this man, you know? So yeah, like, that's why I don't think, and even in female friendships, like, with jealousy, whenever I've been encountered, like, a woman who was acted jealous and territorial towards me and, like, acting like getting upset when I had other friends or whatever, she was always, like, a narcissist. And she, at the end of the day, wanted me isolated. It was about her wanting me isolated, and she wanted to be my only friend so that she could isolate me. And she got upset that I had a network of other people that I was talking to. She wanted to be my only friend because if she was my only friend, then she could cut contact and I would be by myself. That's what that was about. So she would get jealous if I had other friends because she wanted to be the only one because she wanted all the control over me. People who get jealous over you see you as an object. They see you as a metric and an object. When people are jealous of you and like it's not like an attractive thing. It's about them just seeing you as an object. Like, every single person in my life that I've encountered who has been acted jealous over me has never liked me. 100% of the time, that has never come from someone who has liked me ever. You know, it's always come from someone who's just trying to use me as an object. Who very much just views me as an object and was using me as a metric to compare themselves to other people.